Seek not to be like evil men, neither desire to be with them, because their mind studieth robberies, and their lips speak deceits. By wisdom the house shall be built, and by prudence it shall be strengthened. By instruction the storerooms shall be filled with all precious and most beautiful wealth. A wise man is strong, and a knowing man stout and valiant. Because war is managed by due ordering, and there shall be safety where there are many counsels. Wisdom is too high for a fool. In the gate he shall not open his mouth. He that deviseth to do evils shall be called a fool. The thought of a fool is sin, and the detractor is the abomination of men. If thou lose hope, being weary in the day of distress, thy strength shall be diminished. Deliver them that are led to death, and those that are drawn to death forbear not to deliver. If thou say, I have not strength enough, he that seeth into the heart, he understandeth, and nothing deceiveth the keeper of thy soul, and he shall render to a man according to his works. Eat honey, my son, because it is good, and the honeycomb most sweet to thy throat. So also is the doctrine of wisdom to thy soul, which, when thou hast found, thou shalt have hope in the end, and thy hope shall not perish. Lie not in wait, nor seek after wickedness in the house of the just, nor spoil his rest. For a just man shall fall 7 times, and shall rise again, but the wicked shall fall down into evil. When thy enemy shall fall, be not glad, and in his ruin let not thy heart rejoice, lest the Lord see, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Contend not with the wicked, nor seek to be like the ungodly. For evil men have no hope of things to come, and the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. My son, fear the Lord and the king, and have nothing to do with detractors. For their destruction shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of both? These things also to the wise. It is not good to have respect to persons in judgment. They that say to the wicked man, Thou art just, shall be cursed by the people, and the tribes shall abhor them. They that rebuke him shall be praised, and a blessing shall come upon them. He shall kiss the lips who answereth right words. Prepare thy work without, and diligently till thy ground, that afterward thou mayest build thy house. Be not witness without cause against thy neighbor, and deceive not any man with thy lips. Say not, I will do to him as he hath done to me. I will render to every one according to his work. I passed by the field of the slothful man, and by the vineyard of the foolish man. And behold, it was all filled with nettles, and thorns had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall was broken down. Which, when I had seen, I laid it up in my heart, and by the example I received instruction. Thou wilt sleep a little, said I. Thou wilt slumber a little. Thou wilt fold thy hands a little to rest. And poverty shall come to thee as a runner, and beggary as an armed man. These are also parables of Solomon, which the men of Ezekias king of Judah copied out. It is the glory of God to conceal the word, and the glory of kings to search out the speech. The heaven above, the earth beneath, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the rust from silver, and there shall come forth a most pure vessel. Take away wickedness from the face of the king, and his throne shall be established with justice. Appear not glorious before the king, and stand not in the place of great men. For it is better that it should be said to thee, Come up hither, than that thou shouldst be humbled before the prince. The things which the eyes have seen, utter not hastily in a quarrel, lest afterward thou mayest not be able to make amends, when thou hast dishonored thy friend. Treat thy cause with thy friend, and discover not the secret to a stranger, lest he insult over thee when he hath heard it, and cease not to upbraid thee. Grace and friendship deliver a man. Keep these for thyself, lest thou fall under reproach. To speak a word in due time is like apples of gold on beds of silver. As an earring of gold and a bright pearl, so is he that reproveth the wise and the obedient ear. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to him that sent him, for he refresheth his soul. As clouds and wind, when no rain followeth, so is the man that boasteth, and doth not fulfill his promises. By patience a prince shall be appeased, and a soft tongue shall break hardness. Thou hast found honey, eat what is sufficient for thee, lest being glutted therewith thou vomit it up. Withdraw thy foot from the house of thy neighbor, lest having his fill he hate thee. A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is like a dart and a sword and a sharp arrow. To trust to an unfaithful man in the time of trouble is like a rotten tooth and a weary foot. And one that looseth his garment in cold weather. As vinegar upon nitre, so is he that singeth songs to a very evil heart. As a moth doth by a garment, and a worm by the wood, so the sadness of a man consumeth the heart. If thy enemy be hungry, give him to eat. If he thirst, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap hot coals upon his head, and the Lord will reward thee. The north wind driveth away rain, as doth a sad countenance, a backbiting tongue. It is better to sit in the corner of a housetop than with a brawling woman and in a common house. As cold water to a thirsty soul, so is good tidings from a far country. A just man falling down before the wicked is as a fountain troubled with a foot and a corrupted spring. As it is not good for a man to eat much honey, so he that is a searcher of majesty shall be overwhelmed by glory. As a city that lieth open and is not compassed with walls, so is a man that cannot refrain his own spirit in speaking. As snow in summer and rain in harvest, so glory is not seemly for a fool. As a bird flying to other places, and a sparrow going here or there, so a curse, uttered without cause, shall come upon a man. A whip for a horse, and a snaffle for an ass, and a rod for the back of fools. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou be made like him. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he imagine himself to be wise. He that sendeth words by a foolish messenger is lame of feet and drinketh iniquity. As a lame man hath fair legs in vain, so a parable is unseemly in the mouth of fools. As he that casteth a stone into the heap of mercury, so is he that giveth honor to a fool. As if a thorn should grow in the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. Judgment determineth causes, and he that putteth a fool to silence appeaseth anger. As a dog that returned to his vomit, so is the fool that repeateth his folly. Hast thou seen a man wise in his own conceit? There shall be more hope of a fool than of him. The slothful man saith, there is a lion in the way, and a lioness in the roads. As the door turneth upon its hinges, so doth the slothful upon his bed. The slothful hideth his hand under his armpit, and it grieveth him to turn it to his mouth. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that speak sentences. As he that taketh a dog by the ears, so is he that passeth by in anger, and meddleth with another man's quarrel. As he is guilty that shooteth arrows and lances unto death, so is the man that hurteth his friend deceitfully. And when he is taken, saith, I did it in jest. When the wood faileth, the fire shall go out. And when the talebearer is taken away, contentions shall cease. As coals are to burning coals, and wood to fire, so an angry man stirreth up strife. The words of a talebearer are as it were simple, but they reach to the innermost parts of the belly. Swelling lips, joined with a corrupt heart, are like an earthen vessel adorned with silver dross. An enemy is known by his lips, when in his heart he entertaineth deceit. When he shall speak low, trust him not, because there are 7 mischiefs in his heart. He that covereth hatred deceitfully, his malice shall be laid open in the public assembly. He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and he that rolleth a stone, it shall return to him. A deceitful tongue loveth not truth, and a slippery mouth worketh ruin. Boast not for tomorrow, for thou knowest not what the day to come may bring forth. Let another praise thee, and not thy own mouth, a stranger, and not thy own lips. A stone is heavy, and a sand weighty, but the anger of a fool is heavier than them both. Anger hath no mercy, nor fury when it breaketh forth, and who can bear the violence of one provoked? Open rebuke is better than hidden love. Better are the wounds of a friend than the deceitful kisses of an enemy. A soul that is full shall tread upon the honeycomb, and a soul that is hungry shall take even bitter for sweet. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that leaveth his place. Ointment and perfumes rejoice the heart, and the good counsels of a friend are sweet to the soul. Thy own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, and go not into thy brother's house in the day of thy affliction. Better is a neighbor that is near than a brother afar off. Study wisdom, my son, and make my heart joyful, that thou mayest give an answer to him that reproacheth. The prudent man, seeing evil, hideth himself. Little ones passing on have suffered losses. Take away his garment that hath been surety for a stranger, and take from him a pledge for strangers. He that blesseth his neighbor with a loud voice, rising in the night, shall be like to him that curseth. Roofs dropping through in a cold day, and a contentious woman are alike. He that retaineth her is as he that would hold the wind, and shall call in the oil of his right hand. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. He that keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, and he that is the keeper of his master shall be glorified. As the faces of them that look therein shine in the water, so the hearts of men are laid open to the wise. Hell and destruction are never filled, so the eyes of men are never satisfied. As silver is tried in the fining pot, and gold in the furnace, so a man is tried by the mouth of him that praiseth. The heart of the wicked seeketh after evils, but the righteous heart seeketh after knowledge. Though thou shouldst bray a fool in the mortar, as when a pestle striketh upon sodden barley, his folly would not be taken from him. Be diligent to know the countenance of thy cattle, and consider thy own flocks. For thou shalt not always have power, but a crown shall be given to generation and generation. The meadows are open, and the green herbs have appeared, and the hay is gathered out of the mountains. Lamb are for thy clothing, and kids for the price of a field. Let the milk of the goats be enough for thy food, and for the necessities of thy house, and for maintenance of thy handmaids. The wicked man fleeth, when no man pursueth, but the just, bold as a lion, shall be without dread. For the sins of the land, many are the princes thereof, and for the wisdom of a man, and the knowledge of those things that are said, the life of the prince shall be prolonged. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a violent shower which bringeth a famine. They that forsake the law praise the wicked man. They that keep it are incensed against him. Evil men think not on judgment, but they that seek after the Lord take notice of all things. Better is the poor man walking in his simplicity than the rich in crooked ways. He that keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that feedeth gluttons shameth his father. He that heapeth together riches by usury and loan gathereth them for him that will be bountiful to the poor. He that turneth away his ears from hearing the law, his prayer shall be as abomination. He that deceiveth the just in a wicked way shall fall in his own destruction, and the upright shall possess his goods. The rich man seemeth to himself wise, but the poor man that is prudent shall search him out. In the joy of the just there is great glory. When the wicked reign, men are ruined. He that hideth his sins shall not prosper, but he that shall confess and forsake them shall obtain mercy. Blessed is the man that is always fearful, but he that is hardened in mind shall fall into evil. As a roaring lion and a hungry bear, so is a wicked prince over poor people. A prince void of prudence shall oppress many by calumny. But he that hateth covetousness shall prolong his days. A man that doth violence to the blood of a person, if he flee even to the pit, no man will stay him. He that walketh uprightly shall be saved. He that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his ground shall be filled with bread, but he that followeth idleness shall be filled with poverty. A faithful man shall be much praised, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. He that hath respect to a person in judgment doth not well. Such a man, even for a morsel of bread, forsaketh the truth. A man that maketh haste to be rich, and envieth others, is ignorant that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man shall afterward find favor with him, more than he that by a flattering tongue deceiveth him. He that stealeth anything from his father or from his mother, and saith, there is no sin, is a partner of a murderer. He that boasteth and puffeth up himself stirreth up quarrels, but he that trusteth in the Lord shall be healed. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but he that walketh wisely, he shall be saved. He that giveth to the poor shall not want. He that despiseth his entreaty shall suffer indigence. When the wicked rise up, men shall hide themselves. When they perish, the lust shall be multiplied. The man that with a stiff neck despiseth him that reproveth him shall suddenly be destroyed, and health shall not follow him. When just men increase, the people shall rejoice. When the wicked shall bear rule, the people shall mourn. A man that loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that maintaineth harlots shall squander away his substance. A just king setteth up the land, a covetous man shall destroy it. A man that speaketh to his friend with flattering and dissembling words spreadeth a net for his feet. A snare shall entangle the wicked one when he sinneth, and the just shall praise and rejoice. The just taketh notice of the cause of the poor. The wicked is void of knowledge. Corrupt men bring a city to ruin, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man contend with a fool, whether he be angry or laugh, he shall find no rest. Bloodthirsty men hate the upright, but just men seek his soul. A fool uttereth all his mind. A wise man deferreth, and keepeth it till afterwards. A prince that gladly heareth lying words hath all his servants wicked. The poor man and the creditor have met one another. The Lord is the enlightener of them both. The king that judgeth the poor in truth, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but the child that is left to his own will bring his mother to shame. When the wicked are multiplied, crimes shall be multiplied, but the just shall see their downfall. Instruct thy son, and he shall refresh thee, and shall give delight to thy soul. When prophecy shall fail, the people shall be scattered abroad, but he that keepeth the law is blessed. A slave will not be corrected by words, because he understandeth what thou sayest, and will not answer. Hast thou seen a man hasty to speak? Folly is rather to be looked for than his amendment. He that nourisheth his servant delicately from his childhood, afterwards shall find him stubborn. A passionate man provoketh quarrels, and he that is easily stirred up to wrath shall be more prone to sin. Humiliation followeth the proud, and glory shall uphold the humble of spirit. He that is a partaker with a thief hateth his own soul. He heareth one putting him to his oath, and discovereth not. He that feareth man shall quickly fall. He that trusteth in the Lord shall be set on high. Many seek the face of the prince, but the judgment of every one cometh forth from the Lord. The just abhor the wicked man, and the wicked loathe them that are in the right way. The son that keepeth the word shall be free from destruction. The words of Gatherer, the son of Omitter, the vision which the man spoke with whom God is, and who being strengthened by God, abiding with him, said, I am the most foolish of men, and the wisdom of men is not with me. I have not learned wisdom, and have not known the science of saints. Who hath ascended up into heaven, and descended? Who hath held the wind in his hands? Who hath bound up the waters together as in a garment? Who hath raised up all the borders of the earth? What is his name? And what is the name of his son, if thou knowest? Every word of God is a fire tried. He is a buckler to them that hope in him. Add not anything to his words, lest thou be reproved and found a liar. 2 things I have asked of thee. Deny them not to me before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lying words. Give me neither beggary nor riches. Give me only the necessaries of life, lest perhaps being filled, I should be tempted to deny and say, Who is the Lord? Or being compelled by poverty, I should steal and forswear the name of my God. Accuse not a servant to his master, lest he curse thee and thou fall. There is a generation that curseth their father, and doth not bless their mother. A generation that are pure in their own eyes, and yet are not washed from their filthiness. A generation whose eyes are lofty, and their eyelids lifted up on high. A generation that for teeth hath swords, and grindeth with their jaw teeth, to devour the needy from off the earth, and the poor from among men. The horseleech hath two daughters that say, Bring, bring. There are three things that never are satisfied, and the fourth never saith, It is enough. Hell, the mouth of the womb, and the earth which is not satisfied with water. And the fire never saith, It is enough. The eye that mocketh at his father, and that despiseth the labor of his mother in bearing him, let the ravens of the brooks pick it out, and the young eagles eat it. Three things are hard to me, and the fourth I am utterly ignorant of: the way of an eagle in the air, the way of a serpent upon a rock, the way of a ship in the midst of the sea, and the way of a man in his youth. Such is also the way of an adulterous woman, who eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no evil. By three things the earth is disturbed, and the fourth it cannot bear: by a slave when he reigneth, by a fool when he is filled with meat, by an odious woman when she is married, and by a bondwoman when she is heir to her mistress. There are four very little things of the earth, and they are wiser than the wise: the ants, a feeble people which provide themselves food in the harvest; the rabbit, a weak people which maketh its bed in the rock; the locust hath no king, yet they all go out by their bands; the stelio supporteth itself on hands, and dwelleth in kings' houses. There are three things which go well, and the fourth that walketh happily: a lion, the strongest of beasts, which hath no fear of anything he meeteth; a cock girded about the loins, and a ram, and a king whom none can resist. There is that hath appeared a fool after he was lifted up on high. For if he had understood, he would have laid his hand upon his mouth. And he that strongly squeezeth the paps to bring out milk, straineth out butter, and he that violently bloweth his nose bringeth out blood, and he that provoketh wrath bringeth forth strife. The words of King Lemuel, the vision wherewith his mother instructed him. What, O my beloved, what? O the beloved of my womb, what, O the beloved of my vows? Give not thy substance to women, and thy riches to destroy kings. Give not to kings, O Lemuel, give not wine to kings, because there is no secret where drunkenness reigneth. Unless they drink and forget judgments, and pervert the cause of the children of the poor. Give strong drink to them that are sad, and wine to them that are grieved in mind. Let them drink and forget their want, and remember their sorrow no more. Open thy mouth for the dumb, and for the causes of all the children that pass. Open thy mouth, decree that which is just, and do justice to the needy and poor. Who shall find a valiant woman? Far and from the uttermost coasts is the price of her. The heart of her husband trusteth in her, and he shall have no need of spoils. She will render him good and not evil all the days of her life. She hath sought wool and flax, and hath brought by the counsel of her hands. She is like the merchant's ship. She bringeth her bread from afar. And she hath risen in the night, and given a prey to her household, and victuals to her maidens. She hath considered a field and bought it. With the fruit of her hands she hath planted a vineyard. She hath girded her loins with strength, and hath strengthened her arm. She hath tasted and seen that her traffic is good. Her lamp shall not be put out in the night. She hath put out her hand to strong things, and her fingers have taken hold of the spindle. She hath opened her hand to the needy, and stretched out her hands to the poor. She shall not fear for her house in the cold of snow, for all her domestics are clothed with double garments. She hath made for herself clothing of tapestry, fine linen, and purple is her covering. Her husband is honorable in the gates, when he sitteth among the senators of the land. She made fine linen and sold it, and delivered a girdle to the Canaanite. Strength and beauty are her clothing, and she shall laugh in the latter day. She hath opened her mouth to wisdom, and the law of clemency is on her tongue. She hath looked well to the paths of her house, and hath not eaten her bread idle. Her children rose up and called her blessed. Her husband, and he praised her. Many daughters have gathered together riches that has surpassed them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. The woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates.